So yes, please talk a little bit about the differences in preparation, or just talk about the gear and backpacking.
Okay. So if you're doing, if I'm going to do backpacking, of course, this bag will be way more full than this. I'll usually have my pad for where I put my sleeping bag on. This right here is a bivy sack. Essentially, it's like a one-person tent, and you can. If you want me to set it up at some point later, we can. I don't care. But essentially, this is really great for backpacking. It's very light. I love it. I don't really take tents with me. If I'm doing backpacking, I try to inform people the more weight you pack, the more you're gonna have to hike with it. So if you want to go like ultra light with your backpacking, I would consider doing something like a bivy sack. This is only 1 pound, the one that I have here, and they're easy to set up. You essentially just place it down on the ground. You can stake it down if you need to. Most of the time I don't, but you can. And then if you want some extra covering, you can always use some tarp. And I usually just take my tarp and make an A-frame, kind of as low to the ground as I feel comfortable. I like to be kind of snug sometimes. And that's usually how I have my sleeping arrangements. So, something like that. We also have bushcrafting, which I've done before, but it's not something that I really teach. But that's where you literally will go and find your sticks and your limbs, and you'll just kind of make your own little A-frame, little shelter. And you can very well sleep in those.
How long would that take?
I've seen it done in about maybe a few hours, maybe like 2 to 3. It depends on where you are. If the wood has been picked over a lot, you're gonna probably have a lot of trouble finding something. But if you're in backcountry where it's not really a lot of people out there, you'll probably be okay with getting it done in like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. Make sure you have a good hatchet, or at least some type of knife to help with some of the carving that you may want to do. And let's see, what else? Of course, all the stuff about fires. Fire is very important when you want to heat some food up. Maybe take a nice hot little sponge bath or something like that. Those are really nice. It's also nice to just go to sleep by these. Of course, please put your fire out before you go to bed. I have seen it where they'll put their sleeping bags beside a fire pit, and their stuff will catch on fire. So just make sure you put your fire out before you go to bed. But yeah, I teach primitive fire skills. So we have some things in here. Let's see. This right here is what we consider like some tinder, like a tinder bundle. You can make, this one is jute, but you can go out and you can forage for your own, and you can make your own. Of course, I always try to encourage dead, down, and detached. We don't really want to pull from living trees or living plants or anything like that. And essentially, you'll just have some of this. You'll make it into kind of like a little bird nest. And let's see, I'll take some of it. You'll kind of make it into a little bird nest. And you can add some other things to it, something that's going to catch kind of quick. And there are different ways of making fires out here. You can go way on back and do bow drilling. I didn't bring my bow drill, but that's a friction type of fire making, where you use a spindle, a fireboard. You're trying to make a coal. Essentially, the coal will fall onto this. Then you'll have your fire basically in here. And then there is striking. Let's see. I think I have it. This one. I can get some sparks here, I think. Might be. So you have some sparks kind of going. Eventually one will fall. I'm not going to do this on your stuff. But you can have one that'll fall eventually. You see, like one fell over here.
Whoa.
And you can get it to kind of land on one of these, and you can end up with some fire.
And you put that around like leaves?
Well, leaves burn and they fly. So whenever you're making a fire, try not to use leaves. You want to use really small, when you're starting off, you want to use very small sticks that are going to catch. So this is essentially what it'll look like when you start. You just kind of build them up like that. You can add larger sticks. The more your fire grows, the more it'll need to feed off of. And that's how you start your fire.
And this is called again?
This is a tinder bundle.
A tinder bundle.
Yes, but you can make this out of any kind of fibrous material that you can get from a tree or a plant. This one is jute, but I've used, I don't even know where, I think I left it at home, but I've used some from a bark. And when we hike through here, and if I see it again, I can show you where you guys can make your own if you want. We can do that. There's a tree right there actually that has it. A cedar tree is really good for those. So yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Did you want me to cover food?
Yeah, cover it all.
Okay.
Let's go through the whole bag.
So food is, let's see. This right here is a stuffed sack. So I just have some extra stuff in here. This is what I've used for bear hang before. I have an extra bivy sack in here as well. But for demonstration, we'll just say that our food is in here. We're out backpacking for a weekend or so. This is a dry bag, so you can just stuff your food in here. I try to encourage people to bring things that are easy meals. Of course, if you want to show your chef skills out here, more than happy to see it. But in the long run, if we're doing like a backpacking trip or something, less will be more. So you want to try to do like your dehydrated meals, like your chilies or something like that. And there's countless like companies that make backpacking food. So I like to stick with like oatmeal and quinoa and some dehydrated veggies or lentils or something. That's what I like to do. If I'm going to eat raw fruits or vegetables, those are more heavy. So I usually will eat those on day one. Like when I'm first getting out there, that's probably when I'm going to eat it because it's heavier. So if I'm doing backpacking, I don't want the weight of it. So, but yeah.
So how heavy do your backpacks typically weigh with everything included?
Honestly, I don't know. I actually have never weighed this bag here. This is the one that I use. It is a 75-liter bag, and I'll usually have my food in here. Fire kit is in here. You always want to keep this in something that can stay dry. You don't want your fire kit to get too wet. Then there's my sleeping bag if I bring it. That's probably my heaviest, and it's a light one, consider it a light one, but that's probably my heaviest thing, that it's going to be that. So I'm not really sure. My med kit is heavy, but yeah, my med kit and then my sleeping bag are roughly around the same weight. But I haven't measured, I haven't weighed it. It's a good idea, I might try to do.
It looks like about 30 pounds.
If it's full,
it looks, I mean, I don't know how reliable that is.
Sure. If it's full, maybe around 30, 35.
30, 35. Well, anything else that you would like to show? Oh yeah, share about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So water, I do get the question of like, what do you do for water, and how do you is it safe to drink the water around the environment? I wouldn't drink, I do oppose to drinking just raw, unfiltered, naturally sourced water. Unfortunately, our earth has gotten to the place of a lot of our water is polluted, and it's just not necessarily safe for humans to consume anymore. So you do want to get a good filtration system. This one is from Platypus. I got it from REI, but it filters out 2 liters at a time, which is good enough for myself and a small group. And you will essentially use the reservoir area here. You fill it up with whatever the water is. You want to try to stay clear from standing water. That would be the last water source that I would want to drink from. You can still do it, but you really just want to try to stay away from a pond or a lake, anything that's holding. You want to be able to try to get it from a river, a creek, something that's flowing. So you'll just fill it up, and this is a gravity fed bag. You'll hang it up on a tree, you'll attach the filter, and then you're good to go. You can use it to cook with, drink, you can bathe with it. I mean, whatever you need it for. So yep.
So when it comes to bathing and showering while in the woods, please talk about that. How do you go about that?
Okay, well, so
she crochets like these little.
Hey there, I didn't see you. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you at the end of my episode.
It's all okay, because like I said, we're like browsing like a faith thing.
yeah.
Introducing Indigenous Soul. Yoga, hiking, wellness, and adventures.